Welcome to Frazzlecast, a podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. I promise you, they do talk about the World of Warcraft. They just go off the rails sometimes.
Hello, Internet! Those tuning in on Twitch, in Discord, or listening to the download. It is Frazzly the Awesome Gnome. Welcome to summer, which means it is time for the Midsummer Fire Festival and the return of the Karaji Guardlings. I probably just butchered that name. We have a hot episode for you tonight. Take a drink, as we will be discussing the dev water cooler post about Classic, the final bits of news that have come out as we race towards the Battle for Azeroth, and we will talk about the fight for 20th Century Fox and more. Let's start the gnome train. This is episode 60, Xortz and Giggles. We're recording live from a tavern.
Tune in now to watch Xortz and Giggles try and make it through this twisting nether we call life.
Hey, I got a question for you. Is this portal supposed to be spewing out 20 billion demons at once, or did I not read the instructions right?
Oh, Xortz.
So, welcome to Xortz and Giggles to Frazzlecast.
God, that was terrible. That was the worst thing ever.
That's what made it incredible.
Yeah.
That was such an 80s sitcom right there.
Yes.
Perfect.
So, let's go around the table and let's see what's been new with you. Even though Giggles, it's your first time, I need to figure out a way to say that better. But, what's new with you since you've been on the show last?
Wait, have I been on the show?
No. What's been...
I guess. Yeah, what really is our concept of show?
That is true, because we are all
Are
one.
we real?
Is it
Is
linear?
this real life?
Ow, I just pinched myself. I think I am real.
Is it infinite?
Are we caught in a landslide? No escape from reality?
I guess things that are new. Just been playing. Well, I haven't really been playing a lot of World of Warcraft. I've kind of been sucked into something called Warhammer 40k.
Ooh.
Oh! All hail the Golden Throne!
It is a money pit, let me tell you. But to be fair, because I'm going on my honeymoon soon, I haven't been able to actually spend real money, at least according to my wife. So I've been trading in a bunch of Magic cards and video games. I've only spent $20 on like $250 worth of miniatures. Yeah, it's a thing. Necron Empire.
Well, what's amazing is Warhammer started Warcraft, so you're going back to the roots.
I am. It's incredible. Honestly, I could say that Warhammer really started StarCraft, just with looking at the Tyranids, the Space Marines, and...
There was actually, I think, a small lawsuit over that when StarCraft was first being developed.
I could see that.
I think it was supposed to be a Warhammer 40k RTS, but they didn't actually have all the permissions to do it, and there was some... My information could be miscued. It was a long time ago, so... But the influence is there. It really is.
It definitely is. You can really tell with just like the Eridar and the
just look at the Space Marine armors between the two.
Oh,
names.
absolutely.
They're damn near identical.
Well, and then the Tyranids. The Tyranids are basically the Zerg.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, the best army in the whole thing, and I know this isn't a show about Warhammer, but the Orcs are the best, because if they believe it, it happens. You paint anything red, it automatically goes faster.
I love that.
Needs more DACA.
It's the best. Oh, we need more ammo. Think it. Oh, we have more ammo.
That's like the best part about the tabletop version of Warhammer 40k. If you paint certain orc things red, you actually get a speed bonus, because red is the fastest color.
Nice.
But yes, so a little bit of Warcraft, lots of Warhammer. Yeah, just doing the grind on Warcraft before the expansion comes out. Picking up the slack on places that I just did my first Balance of Power.
Yeah, and then in the next expansion you can go in and solo the dungeons, the raids.
Oh. Well, I guess maybe Nighthold and Emerald Nightmare, but if nothing else, at least with 2 other people.
Cleaning up all the little bits and pieces in the kitchen, all the stuff that we've been enjoying, all the main meals, but now it's time to clean up
Yeah, honestly, I should be leveling up my alts, like the allied races that I have that I want leveled up. More so waiting for the mage tower to turn on indefinitely until the next patch.
Yeah, and with how close we're getting to pre-patch, I'm actually surprised because I just saw from Wowhead, I believe Mage Tower just went up. I'm surprised that it's not going to now just stay up because we're getting very close to pre-patch. And I'm kind of hearing 8.0 is when it's going to go down, and that's pre-patch.
Yeah, well, and 8.0 is basically Battle for Azeroth. Everything that's going to be in the game is going to be in there, and it would make sense to turn it on. Right now, we're at 68% built for the North American servers.
Okay, so yeah, this must be the EU.
Yeah, I get the updates on my phone too, and it's like, oh, wait, that's EU.
They always get things first, except we're all getting Battle for Azeroth at the same time.
We are. I don't even have to take the day that it comes out off, because I'll be off of work and get home and be able to play. I'm going to take the day after off.
Very nice. And Xortz, what have you been up to?
Work.
I hear that.
It's busy season at work, so we just wrapped up our first week of mandatory overtime with more to follow. Yay. So work, sleep, when I'm awake and lucid enough, stream, my usual streams, my WoW Iron Man solo stuff, and my WoW Iron Man team with Nisi. I've killed off a few tunes since then on the solos. Still nowhere near as many as this time last year, so we're getting better. Team Puppet Lives On is chugging along. We just got to Fellwood. We're slowly wrapping up Old World Azeroth and creeping towards Outlands and or Northrend, depending on what path we decide to go. Still messing around with The Sims. The Xortz family is now on generation 4, 5?
Wow.
Yeah, 2 babies were born into the family, and the family's gotten so big, it's become practically unmanageable. So we're going to have to streamline that this generation by whatever means end up being utilized. Not saying somebody might get locked in a room with no door, but somebody might get locked in a room with no door. Just picked up the core game for Stellaris the other day, because some people I know have been playing that, and it looks interesting. So I'm going to mess around with that in the wee hours of the morning on my days off. And then once I figure it out, if this is a game that is too much for my limited brain space, or if I can actually play this without being terrible at it, I might stream it. Still have not gotten my main to 110 because I'm just lazy. And I still have not unlocked any allied races or even begun the mind-numbing process of grinding out all that rep. Worst WoW player, North America, 2018.
Bet you're enjoying the Iron Man, so when we get the Classic.
Oh my god, that Classic announcement.
Yeah.
The fact that they actually gave us some kind of news on it, I was just like, ooh. I gotta admit, I nerdgasmed a little.
For me, I haven't been doing a lot of WoW because I turned in my final speech project assignment. I passed the course, so thank you to all the podcasting. That helped me so much. I'm taking a break until August. I know, starting up a course right as BFA launches. That's asking for trouble. I finally got my Inspector Gadget Dan achievement. Been working on that for over a year. Just Blingtron 5000 every day. I always try to open the Blingtron 5000 where nobody else is because I don't want somebody to accidentally use their Blingtron 6000 on mine. Like, no, I'm trying to get this specific achievement. And also maybe hopefully get the pet at some point. I always hated opening it up in public, so I always go to like some back alley in Dalaran. I have a bunch of podcasts I'm getting lined up for the end of July because I've got a vacation, so gotta still have stuff ready to go on the podcast feeds. I know I could take a break, but that's not me. Working on archaeology and chasing down toys like the Emerald Wind, the Worn Doll, Cursed Orb, and others. And I did some stuff in the Midsummer Fire Festival today. And how did I not know that the Mythic Dungeon Invitational LAN event is happening in my city of Columbus, Ohio, tomorrow through Sunday? I was talking with Softtooth on Twitter, and they said, "Are you spectating?" I was like, I found out there is an arena like maybe 20 minutes from my house. I don't think I'm going to go because I haven't found anybody to go with, but it's so weird to be there. And I was talking with Thist, and Thist told me that, Ohio is actually the birthplace of esports. I was like, I thought it was the birthplace of aviation, but now it's the birthplace of aviation and esports. Who would expect Columbus, Ohio to be where they're going to have the MDI? I wouldn't have.
I don't know. I don't follow it. Watching other people run dungeons is not entertaining to me.
For me, I would have gone because of the energy in the room. I've heard everybody say when you go to esports, you're not really there to watch the game. You're there to have fun with other people. And so I was kind of like asking people, are you going? Are you going? no one's going that I know. So by the time this show's out, it'll have already have happened.
I can attest to the whole, you got to be there. You're there really for the experience, not to watch it.
Yeah.
When I went to BlizzCon, the arenas were awesome. Overwatch was insane. Just watching StarCraft and Heroes of the Storm, it was crazy.
That's what I've seen on video, and like I want to experience that. Plus, if somebody that I know is going to be in my city, I want to meet up with them. It makes it that we're not just people online talking, but we're people talking in real life with coffee and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe at one of the next MDI events in Columbus, if they have it again, we could have like a meetup or something like that. But yeah, let's get into the main topics. So let's start with the Dev Water Cooler.
1.12 Drums of War is going to be with the WoW Classic build. My understanding, from what I do know about it, and my knowledge is pretty limited, guys, so if I don't have everything buttoned down here, internet, please don't crucify me. 1.12 in terms of vanilla WoW was probably the best build of the game because it fixed the majority of the bugs and problems that the game had with launch. Let's face it, vanilla WoW at launch was a hot mess.
Yes.
By today's standards, it'd probably be considered a disaster. 1.12 added a bunch of new content. It fixed the majority of the bugs and pretty much is, when people look back at vanilla WoW through the rose-colored glasses, the definitive version of the game. That's the build that they've decided to base Classic on. So I imagine it would have all the content of vanilla WoW, and the system format would probably be based off of it. I would expect that they would do, graphical upgrades and stuff like that to make it more aesthetically pleasing, because WoW back in the day wasn't really all that good looking by today's standards. So.
Especially with the ogres and no butt flaps.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting to see how they do this and what other information is forthcoming. I'm not expecting a huge deluge of stuff. I mean, they really, only within the last few months, I think, have actually started building the game again. I know they spent some time trying to recruit people from some of the private servers to try and get their inputs, and there were some job postings on the Blizzard website about it months ago. I think they're now in the process of starting to put the foundation down for WoW Classic, which you would think would be easy, but how old is the code? Do they even still have the original code? Yada, yada, yada. They probably do.
Well, and I think what I've been hearing is they want to have the security and some of the client improvements, because there's been a lot of improvements to how the client interacts. Well, and we're not on the same internet that we used to be. I mean, a lot of it was dial-up back then, DSL. We've improved a lot, and they have to do a lot. This past week, I won't say why, but I've been looking a lot at 1.0 patches and kind of looking at different patches for things, and there was actually amazing how much stuff was in it. Like Meeting Stones, Maridin, Dire Maul, like Alterac Valley and Warsong Gulch. I played up to probably the end of 2006. And kind of right before Burning Crusade started, just life got in the way and I had to leave. But I forgot how much stuff came in. I mean, of course, we all know the Gates of Encourage. It is interesting because one of the tweets I saw the Wildhead tweet on this was they thought Blizzard said we would be going from 1.0 to 1.12. There's a lot of rumors and hearsay happening with Classic regarding what's going to be there content-wise. Because I see from this post, they talk about the patch platform, but not as much the actual content.
Well, I think at this point, they're just working out a lot of the technical issues.
Yeah.
A lot of the programming aspects, because essentially what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to take that old code and rebuild the game from the ground up, is my understanding. There hasn't been a whole lot of information put out about WoW Classic since the announcement. I mean, little things here and there. So some of this is just speculation on my part. But I assume they're just going to be pretty much taking what was vanilla WoW and using that core code as the foundation, but then building it from the ground up in a more modern fashion. So in terms of what content we're actually going to get, and is it all going to come out at once? Like, are we going to go from the original launch 1.0 to all the way to the Gates of Encourage? Is it all going to be given to us on one giant platter at once, or are they going to break it up and we're actually going to have patch updates and stuff like they do with the game now, and as they've always done as new content comes available? Are they going to say, okay, here's your first part of the game. Here's what you're starting with. It's what you started with in vanilla. And then here's this patch with this content, this raid, these bosses, and so on and so forth. Those are things that they have not even addressed yet, and I don't think we're going to find that out for quite some time.
Yeah, what I could see them doing is giving you all the in-between patches right away. Like, okay, here's this to this. and really doing big releases for raids. Like, oh, the gates are opening, but everything up until that point, you just got, oh, next Ramus, that kind of stuff.
And like meeting stones. You get meeting stones.
Yeah.
Well, and like the quality of life updates, they'll just give you in bulk.
Yeah, that I imagine all that kind of stuff will probably be at launch. That way they don't have to worry about going back and fixing something again, 18 years later or whatever.
One thing that was in patch 1.12, and I could see this being a controversial thing, is cross-realm battlegrounds. Because one of the reasons why I hear Classic is wanted is that server community.
Yeah.
Cross-realm flies in the face of that server community and server identity. Because when you go into that Warsong Gulch or Alterac Valley, you want to be fighting people on your server.
Yeah, bragging rights. You want the bragging rights on the server.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. And that was one of the things I used to love about Battlegrounds when I did them was, I'd queue in and it'd be like, okay, cool. I'm going to go whoop on the Alliance's ass, end up getting my butt kicked. And then I could then hop over to one of my Alliance tunes and, not being a troll, actually tell the person that was continuously stalking me throughout that battleground, good job, you got me. I've done that to people, I've had it done to me. And of course, that also brings the question of, you will have the trolls like, oh my God, you killed me, you freaking blah, 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 blah. Okay, /block, see ya.
Yeah.
It was interesting because back then it was a real rivalry. Like, it really gave you that Warcraft feel. You were fighting the Alliance on your server. You were fighting the Horde on your server. You're gonna kick their you-know-what. For me, it made it more intense because you knew very easily that you could run into that person anytime in the world, especially if you were on a PvP server.
Yeah.
The cross-realm, it's like, oh, wow, here I am with a bunch of people that I'm never going to see again and not have any real interaction with except for stop fighting in the road, you noob.
Yeah. Well, and this isn't the cross-realm zone, it's just the battleground.
Yeah.
I remember when that change happened because there was that thing. Man, I must have left close to 2.0. Wow. Because again, I remember very clearly I was in the beta for Burning Crusade and I had to leave due to life stuff. I kind of, there was a lot of stuff going back on in my life at that time.
At the same token, again, a lot of this is also looking back through the rose-colored glasses.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm pretty sure if a lot of these people that went back and if they could get their hands on a pure vanilla build, would go back, play it, and realize it wasn't all roses.
Yeah.
So, when Classic does launch, there's going to be people that love it. There's going to be people that hate it. There's going to be people that saying it's not the experience that they had in vanilla. Because how long ago was vanilla? Do you really remember?
Yeah, do you really remember all of it?
Like, you know what? I mean, I remember I used to love broccoli and cheese as a kid. I ain't had it in years. But I was at the store the other day. I decided I was going to get me a bag of broccoli and cheese. I threw that sucker in the microwave and I cooked it up, and it was not what I remembered.
Yep. Same when I watched Erie, Indiana. I was like, this is not what I remembered.
Yeah.
They did say that somewhere in here they talk about transmog, and they said that stuff like that will not be in because that was absent from the code, and that's not a feature.
In Xortz's perfect world, what you would have is just a modernized, updated version of Vanilla WoW where the content hasn't changed. You still have, in terms of the mechanics and the PvP, the raids, the dungeons, quests, everything is as it was in vanilla, but just make it aesthetically more pleasing and maybe throw in a couple of the modern amenities for quality of life. Look, everybody, unless you were rating top tier stuff and getting all the sweet digital shinies, your character looked like a hot mess because nothing matched. Okay? That is the vanilla WoW experience right there. So,
yeah.
True.
I'm going to link in the show notes. There is a podcast called Countdown the Classic. I've been listening to it on some of the stuff with Classic. They do 2 podcasts a week, and they do an amazing job at looking at different perspectives on Classic. I definitely would recommend checking them out.
We'll definitely have to check them out. They probably have better information than I do. Regardless of what they do to it and how true it stays to the vanilla WoW and how much it doesn't, regardless, I'm still going to play it. I'm still going to try and Iron Man that some. Stand by. The salt will be real.
I'm planning to download it and play it because part of me is I want to see what stuff I forget and what stuff I remember because I've been enjoying hearing about all these mechanics. Like, oh, I forgot about that.
All I want, old school Alterac Valley that lasts for 3 days. Yeah. And I want the South Shore versus Terran Mill, 24 hours, 7 days a week. That's all I really want out of it because those were my 2 favorite memories.
And I want, we need a healer for Scarlet Monastery. We need a healer for Scarlet Monastery. Oh, sorry, we now also need a tank. Our tank just left.
I got a hunter. Can I come?
Okay, just make sure that you turn off growl. Definitely exciting to get our first look into Classic. I'll be interested to see where we go. We also this week got some BFA tidbits. Here is my favorite track from the music that has been added. It is the amazing tavern music. I love it. I love the feel of it. I feel like I'm sitting in a tavern, just eating with friends. Kind of has that Pirates of the Caribbean vibe without being Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's definitely got that a vibe of what would you do with a drunken sailor.
Yeah.
And having been a drunken sailor, we're not going there.
It really makes you wish that going through real life could have musical scores in random places.
Look, you know what? Here's what I want now. This is what this music makes me want. I want to be able to get a boat and sail across the ocean and attack other people on boats.
Yes.
Find buried treasure and salty wenches.
That's where I was hoping that the island expeditions were going to go. I was hoping you could sail around. I've got a feeling that we're close. I think maybe opening the pirates even more. I feel like we're almost there. Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see those pirates. I want to see those.
What that music makes me want. I want to get a ship. I want to grab my friends like Nisi and Layla in the chat, and we'll go have pirate adventures and be scurvy knaves.
Kind of like Sea of Thieves.
Good.
And doesn't Activision own No, it's Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Sid Meier's Pirates?
No. It's one of those games I want to play. I just haven't gotten around to finding it yet.
That one was great because you went around and like you sailed different areas. At certain points, it repeated content, but it was just so much fun to sail between here and here. And like your crew be like, we're hungry, we're starving, and stuff like that. I mean, it was great. You were a captain.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to hop on Steam and see if I can find that now. God, geez, I'm going to spend too much money this summer on video games.
Yep, because the Steam summer sale started. Oh, and actually, that's a good place to mention. This will all be over by the time of the download. Well, the Steam summer sale might still be on. The Blizzard Gear Store is having a sale. There are sales on services. Australian prices are changing as well. For this weekend only, if you're watching live, every account can come back to play. So you can play for the weekend till Sunday. Ooh. And we also got the Battle for Azeroth login screen.
That is a throwback right there.
Yes.
Good.
Harkens back to Warcraft 3. So I like that. I like how they've been kind of throwing those little bits in the last couple of expansions of, hey, remember when we did this?
Yeah.
On a sub-related note, I'm still waiting for a remastered version of Warcraft 2. Thank you.
Oh, I'm with you.
I want to go back to just the pure RTS element of roll horde, make a bunch of orcs and trolls and dragons and ogres, and then just steamroll a bunch of alliance. That's all I want. I want to have 20 million orcs rampaging through the map going zug zug.
What if halfway through the expansion we get war fronts at a massive scale?
You know, a lot of people aren't a big fan of the whole bringing us back to the roots of it, the Horde versus Alliance, but this is what I'm all about. This is the expansion I've been waiting for. I want all of this, and so that login is gorgeous.
You know, you see this on the forums and on social media more and more these days of why is there still Horde versus Alliance, da-da-da-da-da. That's the core of the freaking game, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about. It's like going back to the 80s, U.S. versus Russia, man. You got to have the dynamic of everything. You know, red versus blue. Let's duke it out, man. I still say in a perfect world, the best expansion for me would be pretty much what Battle for Azeroth is looking like, where it's just straight up Horde versus Alliance, kicking each other's butts. I say 2 end game raids. 1 for Horde, 1 for Alliance. Faction-specific end game raids. 1 racial leader dies at the end of the game for each faction.
That'd be pretty sweet.
But they just killed off Vol'jin and Varian last expansion, so I
probably
will never see that.
That'd be pretty cool, because then you could have them see a different part of the story.
I've been saying that for years, and everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy.
In the actual, here it is on a book kind of thing, or here it is on paper, how it happened, the 2 leaders just killed themselves in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am extremely happy with just the login screen. And I'm in the beta and I was in the alpha, and I'm trying very hard not to play because I don't want to spoil. So I'm probably the worst person to hand these invites to. But I go in, play with a couple things, class-based, select what talents I want for what class, see if that's what I'm going to play, and that's pretty much it, just because I don't want to spoil it all. But just the faction pride is really what it helps with.
Oh, yeah.
I still am speculating that won't be the same faction at the end. The same way that I think Sylvanas is going to die by the end of the expansion.
I got no speculation on that. They have just gone in so many directions with that character. I'm not even sure what the hell's going on anymore.
I don't know if you guys had read or listened to the book before the storms. I cranked it out in a day because I couldn't stop listening to it. I really like what they're doing with Sylvanas.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing with the book, how they're building context.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what the collector's edition book is, because that's supposed to be two-sided.
Ooh, that reminds me. I have to buy. Here, take my money.
Yep, Blizzard, just like today, I bought that Blizzard World shirt, and then Discord gave me a coupon, so I was able to buy a sweater. I've got a sweater that says Discord for the winter.
The best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time.
Not in Ohio. I'm sweating right now in my...
Oh, what? No
Summer in the
fans?
Midwest is not pleasant.
No SpongeBob fans, I take it then?
No.
SpongeBob jumped the pineapple at one point for me, so I had to stop watching.
That show just never clicked. I'm going to be really diplomatic here and say, I did not care for it, sir.
Wow.
Because if I really told you what I thought about it, Frasley would be like, oh, God, editing nightmare.
Well, you know what? Because of that, I'm going to do a spoiler for Tosh here.
No.
Spoiler in the book is that it's a book.
Oh, no!
Oh, my gosh. Spoiler alert. Woo!
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a page turner, let me tell you.
I haven't read it. I don't even own it yet.
And the audiobook, I'm still listening to the audiobook, is read by King Antlin.
I gotta say, that's one thing that's kind of bugging me about Blizzard over the last few years is to get the context of stuff, to get the entire story. It's not good enough for them anymore for you just to play the game. You have to read the comics. You have to look at the little web shorts. You have to read the books. And it's just like, God damn it, just give me my fucking story.
Okay, on that, Westworld, I've not watched a lot of season 2 because actually my HBO subscription lapsed, but I watched some of it. I'm hearing with Westworld, it's turning into a show where you need to have more detail outside of the show. I think a lot of media is you need multiple bits of detail.
I like what Blizzard's doing with the extra story in between, mainly because it helps sate a little bit of that hunger, at least for me, for story for the expansion. Like, I want the expansion right now, and it helps. Like, you might have a couple people that have quit the game since the last raid. You know, they may not come back because they're unsure, but, I'm going to pick up the book because I've always liked Christy Golden's writing. I'm going to read it. They finish it, and it's like, I really want to play this expansion now because now I'm invested. Kind of works in that way, but I guess for me, it's a in-between kind of thing. Since I don't really play the beta, it keeps me busy.
Maybe Christy will make it where the story, you get the main point. That's what I was reading from their thing on Wildhead, is that you're going to get the main points, but if you want more context, go read the book. Because that was one thing that was brought up in chat. A lot of people don't read the story. And I think if we were to bog people down with too much story in game, they'd be like, just give me the loot. Just give me the loot.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to give the story like that when it first comes out for the new expansion and whatnot. You have a lot of people that are just cruising through the content just to get to the level cap. I just want a level, and that's all I care about, and get to end content. Well, do we really want to put the story in this way, or do we want that if the people really want that story, let's give them a different outlet and also make more money? But
yeah, speaking of content missing from the game, so there have been some PTR updates, and I was listening to Battle.net News, and Pat talked about how PTR has the quest for what happens to our artifacts, and he played some video of it. There is no audio or text at all.
Nope.
So they were doing like lip syncing and stuff like that. This is amazing. So the quest is in game. The story behind it's not there yet, but it's on PTR. And I just saw from Wildhead today that the Alliance and Horde quest chains that lead to what happens in pre-patch are now active on the PTR. So we are getting a lot closer now.
Yeah. It needs to hurry up.
I'm with you because I'm hoping it starts in the beginning of July, because otherwise at the end of July, I'll be hunched over a dining room table trying to get the pre-patch, just like I was with Legion, trying to get all that transmog.
I need a good bonfire, so it needs to come out already.
Oh, ow!
Yeah, the firewood's getting kind of low. Sun's getting real low, big guy.
Oh.
I'm sorry, if I don't get a treehouse, you don't either.
So that's what it is. As a kid, all the Horde players were not given treehouses, and now they're just like,
yeah.
If you can have it, I can't have it either.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. You want an undercity so bad? Well, we'll just take your city down. If you really want an undercity, you can have it. You should see what we've done with it. All the toilets feed into the canals. It's awful.
But, once we get to undercity, we could use the Dark Iron Dwarf racial. The mole machine has now been added to beta. It can take you between Ironforge and Stormwind. The sad fact is the Deeper in Tram now is going to have less and less people using it. It's just going to go into disrepair.
I'm glad that the racial's called Mole Machine. Pretty cool that it's a portal that the whole group gets to use unless that dwarf decides to go through first.
Yeah. We also got word that Battle for Azeroth will have research options. So just like Legion, we'll have things that we get upgrades for. We already know we have a table in Battle for Azeroth, so now we have research.
Okay.
Have you played a Warrior Giggles?
I have.
So on beta, Recklessness was broken during one of the updates. And Recklessness was you could go berserk, increasing all rage generation by 100% and granting your abilities 20% increased critical strike chance for 1 hour.
Jeez.
I know. Nav has already been telling me to go Fury, and I was like, this just would solidify getting Fury if we could have that for an hour.
That's incredible. That needs to be baseline. That needs to be not fixed. Just let it happen.
Yeah, sadly, it got hot fixed now. It's for 10 seconds.
No.
Boo.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
If they left that in.
Oh, but the rage on the forums would have been even better.
Yes. All the salty tears. Delicious.
Ships are now marked on the world map. That was a tidbit that was posted on Reddit. They now show you how to get to places, and they tell you which ship goes where.
Oh, that's super handy. For Zeppelins, the way that you could always tell which one you had to take was based on the guards that were standing in front of it.
Yeah.
So if you had the undead ones, that one was for the Undercity. If you had goblins and a troll, I think, that one was for Stranglethorn. If you had a Tauren, that one was for Thunderbluff. And you could tell by the decorations around the platform, too. I think that's how you tell for the one for Northrend.
With Zeppelins, they didn't tend to have a Zeppelin just sitting there. I've done it where I got on a boat thinking, oh, this is the boat somewhere. Sitting there for 10 minutes. When's this boat going to go?
With the Zeppelins to Northrend, they actually have a different design than the other Zeppelins. So that's another
They're more
tell,
pointy.
In terms of the ship, just going from Stormwind to, say, Teldrassil, that's easy. You look for the Night Elf Arch.
Yeah, that is true. I can probably say the Horde has a better transportation system. You're more efficient. You do a better job keeping them together.
Goblin engineering, buddy.
Goblin engineering. It's
You're outnumbered today, Frasley. You got to remember that.
Yeah. You're a gnome. We're goblins.
Goblins. We win.
Yep, I'm just overlooked sometimes.
Ha!
You come up a little short.
I don't think I'll be chosen this expansion because the chosen title for defeating Hylia in Trials of Valor on Mythic difficulty without failing the test of the chosen is going away with 8.0 and becoming a feat of strength.
Looks like I need to go and get that.
If you have it, you won't lose the title, but you won't be able to get it. And with how fast PTR is coming toward us, it's like a gnome train. It's coming toward us pretty fast. That would probably be a Tauren train because a gnome train might be a little slow because wherever I walk in game as a gnome, I walk slow.
You take very big strides, though. One of my warlocks is.
I will give this. I will give this to the gnomes in terms of the roleplay walk. Very efficient with their steps, which is something you should appreciate, Frasley, seeing as how you're all about the steps.
Yep. 12,208. Yep, I'm all about the steps. All about the steps.
That's what we need. We need an add-on that's like Fitbit, so you can see how many steps you took in game.
There was one. It's not updated anymore, but there was one. I was so sad about that.
God, you were all over that, weren't you?
Oh, I was. I was all over it just the same way that Disney was all over their bid for 20th Century Fox because they outbid Comcast.
Good. Comcast is garbage.
It's true.
I would agree. They bid $71.3 billion.
I feel better about Fox.
$71.3 billion.
$100 million.
Just think about that. That's larger than the GDP of some developed nations.
And that's for entertainment.
It's just 0.1 billion more dollars than I have.
But you know what this means? You'll finally get the X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I highly doubt that. I think they're running this train for the Marvel Cinematic Universe a little too long. They're going to move on to just drying out Star Wars. But I would like to see that, because I'd like to see Avengers versus X-Men. That's just me. Or an honest Civil War, but, whatever.
And 20th Century Fox has agreed to the higher offer, so I think now they have to wait for the government to approve it and stuff like that. But so far, Fox has said that they like the deal better than Comcast.
Which I'm not going to get on a political platform, but that's ridiculous that the government has to approve that.
I could see why. I mean, think about the one thing, though. We have the 20th Century Fox stuff on Netflix and things and Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Once Disney buys this, they're going to take every bit of content away from everywhere and make you pay their monthly streaming service.
But who's going to be able to offer you more? That's why Netflix has started really working on coming up with Netflix originals.
That is true.
Because they know that all these companies are now starting to catch on, like, hey, we could do our own streaming service. We have enough content. Disney has more than enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they have all of Marvel, Star Wars, their animated movies, and then everything that their little subsidiary companies have as well. And now with 21st Century Fox, it's even more. It makes sense for them to gather that up, and they're just building up their little repertoire for streaming. Going to be great. I'd consider dropping Netflix if it meant I could watch every single movie that Disney owns.
Yeah, I could do that too, because you're right. If the whole back catalog, there's a lot of good stuff in there.
There's a lot. And especially with them redoing all of their animated movies as live actions, I have not been disappointed with one yet. Jungle Book was amazing.
Did you see they're coming out with a Jungle Book, not from Disney, but from, I think, Warner Brothers? Interesting.
Mogwai. Mowgli, whatever his name is. That's
Mowgli.
Whatever. Mogwai, those are the things from Gremlins.
Yes!
Oh. Do you remember the rules, Frasley?
Yes. Do not feed it after midnight and do not get it wet.
Wasn't there a third one?
Oh.
No, not that I know of. It was just two basic rules.
No bright light, don't get them wet, never feed them after midnight. There were 3 rules.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was wrong. I stand corrected.
I couldn't remember. Again, I've got a short memory.
Is that because you're a gnome?
And you know the good news is, at least we now know what the fox says.
Oh, Lord.
One.
Your terrible jokes are bringing you to new heights.
I'm on my tippy toes.
This is just the right amount of punishment.
No. Get off the stage.
Is that a stretch?
Punishment?
Okay, so with that, let's move into the community.
DitchCon.
Yes, DitchCon has now been funded, but they still need your support for a cushion, because with events and with the way Kickstarter things happen, not all payments will go through. Expenses may rise. So definitely, if you can, consider supporting DitchCon. Bell works their butt off for everything. Bell is amazing.
Love Bell.
Yeah, me too. And I love that Bell has so much passion for what they do. So, Belle, you're awesome.
She is definitely. But I'm noticing something every year with the community parties, be it DitchCon, World of Podcasts, and Con Before the Storm, is it seems like it's getting harder and harder for them to meet their goals every year. And I think part of that is they're kind of cannibalizing each other because they're drawing from the same pool of people.
I could see that because, like, this year I raised all my donations for every one of them, but if the CTR party had gone through, I would have probably had to lower one of mine for another one. So I'm with you.
Yeah, that's not knocking any of these things. I think they're great events. I've never been to one because I've gotten out to Anaheim, but one day I will.
Same.
Should.
It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger because more people want to go, but I think eventually these guys are going to say, okay, we can't keep doing this because it's just getting too big. when is big too big? You know, that's the question I think they're all going to have to eventually sit down and take a good long look at.
Yeah.
Tiber in chat brought up a pretty good thing. The Hilton is gouging the crap out of them each year.
It's true.
So,
It's true.
I mean, maybe it's time to start looking. And I know the
Different
Hilton
venues.
is, you know, ground zero at BlizzCon. It's right there.
Oh,
But-
it's ridiculous. It's within, you know, just a couple steps of the convention center.
Yeah, and I hear the Marriott's not doing much better.
No.
They're jumping on the gouge train. Eventually, I think either A, are going to have to start limiting the size, or B, they might have to start looking for something off-site. Then there's that whole convenience factor gone.
That is true. It would be interesting if Blizzard could work it out, but then they might have to be careful with not showing favoritism to certain parties. But if they could say, hey, we have this area after BlizzCon's over.
I don't think Blizzard could directly get involved. I don't think they could.
Yeah, because they're already providing the venue and they're already paying for the venue. And yeah.
I don't know, man. It's
I mean, that's where crowdfunding
I think
like
next
this
year
comes
we're
into.
one of these things kind of fall by the wayside just out of people not being able to help bankroll it, you know? And again, not knocking the organizers of any of these things, because they put a lot of work into getting these things off the ground and getting these things together and giving content and events and things for people to do during these things, and they're great. It's hitting critical mass.
Yeah.
You know, from the outside looking in.
Well, and some people are losing jobs. Cost of living for everybody keeps going up. So people have a little bit less disposable income. And I could see it being like, you know, charity fatigue, where you donate to a charity, then everyone's like, hey, donate to my charity, donate to my charity. And at one point, you're just like, I can't.
In a perfect world, every day would be DitchCon.
Yes, absolutely.
Or Con Before the Storm, or, well, World of Podcasts is part of Con Before the Storm. You know, in a perfect world, we'd all just be hanging out by the pool
Yeah.
and playing WoW.
Wait, playing WoW poolside? Done.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Look, we're having Xortz Con. It's going to be at the bar around the corner.
I'm on my way over.
Happy hours from 5 to 7.
Count me in.
Don't get the potato skins. They're not very good.
They're microwaved. Outsides are cold. The insides are way too hot.
Goblin technology.
I mean, it can't be perfect all the time. Yes, it can.
Yeah, we can.
So it's just a defect in your microwave.
No, it's a defect in the potato skins.
Okay, absolutely. It's their fault.
Yeah, they're
They
gnomish
came from a
potatoes.
gnomish farm.
Yep.
Hey, I can't farm.
That's why the potatoes are lackluster at best.
Oh,
Farms. I see there's a new fictional podcast out there, Frasley.
yes.
Indeed.
So I was looking at Rose Realm Maintenance, and I found an awesome fictional podcast called The Half Hill Report. I started listening to it. Love it. I love it. I was talking with Tosh Mifune, and really cool person during the talks. It is from Half Hill, and they go through things like the university supports here. Here are letters from the listeners. It's really fun, and it's not long. It's like the Frasley Report, where it's pretty short, so you can add it in amongst all the podcasts. Now, I don't know if the character is short. I'm just saying that the podcasts are short. They've done an amazing job, and definitely check them out. They're at halfhillreport.podbean.com.
I saw you tweet about it.
yeah, I hadn't gotten a chance.
My brain is just mush. It's every time I try to think, it's like ice cream pizzas and how many cases per hour can I put on a pallet?
Ice cream.
I know. I want ice cream now, too.
Pizza. Mush.
So ZortzCon will be at BlizzCon this year, and we're going to have ice cream and pizza.
No, there's no Xortz
Yes. I
Not this
like
year.
it.
I ain't gonna be able to.
Next year.
Believe me, I have had so many people like, dude, you're coming to BlizzCon this year, right? It's like,
Dude, you're coming to BlizzCon this year, right?
no, I'm not.
What?
I can't.
I mean, I'm not, but now I'm not because you're not.
Look,
I know.
man,
I'm not. No, I'm not either. So
Yeah, I'm doing it in protest.
me too.
Harum.
If
Look,
BlizzCon can't have Xortz, then nobody can have Xortz.
Yeah.
Besides, that would actually ruin the mystique. I mean, instead of just being the mysterious sock puppet, people know who I am.
No,
Just
you go around
no
in a-
cosplay as a sock puppet.
Yeah.
You know what? I might have to do that. I might have to just like make a
A giant sock.
giant version of my sock puppet,
You need to.
which, courtesy of Nisi BGN,
I'm strictly protesting going to BlizzCon until they give me that little miniature that they used of my character in the Battle for Lordaeron.
That was awesome.
I need it. I don't understand why they can't just send everybody a copy of it. Like,
Shipping.
oh, hey, here's an email. You pay for the shipping, and we'll give you a copy of the figure that we used in this diorama.
The figure is free, just shipping $89.95.
Well, I mean, like, honestly, that is the one thing I need, and then I will be able to do, like, my first trip to BlizzCon shadow box with my pass and the pin that I bought saying BlizzCon 2017, and then the figure. It would be perfect.
Ooh.
So, you're holding up progress here, and I'm not the only one. Every person whose miniature was on there would very much like to throw money at you for that miniature.
All right, everybody go tweet Ian Hazakostas. This is going to hate me for this.
I'm just saying.
Hashtag give us our miniatures.
Hashtag give us our miniatures. For just dimes a day, you too could have a miniature that you had at BlizzCon if you went to BlizzCon.
In the arms
of the angels.
You two are great. I had a feeling that when I brought you two together, it was like...
Friendship started percolating.
Yes.
And it turned into an 80s sitcom.
It did. I'm sorry, I was waiting for the laugh track.
Oh my god, he actually has a percolating sound bite.
Yep.
What is wrong with you in your brain space, boy?
Why do you have the...
So many things.
Oh. Oh, Frasley.
Every time I'm on this show, there is just some random soundbite that it's I don't even know.
And you know what? Here's coffee pouring. I'm pouring a coffee.
Oh.
That sounds more like somebody just blowing into a straw.
Yes.
Pouring coffee? Pouring coffee is the music of angels.
In the arms of the angels.
I don't have any angel music. But you know what I do have?
Oh, no.
Information on how you can get your Violet Spellwing before the end of Legion.
Good, I need
Violet Spellwing, you say?
Yes.
Oh, do go on.
Tell me more.
Tell me more, tell me more.
So make sure to go to friendshipverb.com and perkypugs.com. They are running events up till the end of Legion to get your Violet Spellwing.
Wowee.
Now.
Is it 3 easy payments of $29.99?
Yes.
$29.99 shipping and handling. But wait, there's more.
If you call now, we will throw in the Goblet of Fire so you too can become Harry Potter.
Or is it like a Mitch Hedberg, you know, there are 3 payments, 2 are easy, 1's kind of difficult.
I'll ask my accounting department on that.
Yes, indeed.
One of my people in my accounting department decided to go work for Blizzard. And do you want to work for Blizzard?
Look, I mean, I'd love to work for Blizzard. I don't know what I'd do there. Drink coffee and make snarky comments. That's about it.
Well, they pay me outrageous amounts of money for easy work.
Can I do it from here? Do I actually have to move to the godforsaken state of California where everything's expensive as all get out?
Well, they have another location in Texas as well.
Ooh.
That's what I'd heard. The Texas one, I believe, is their customer support, though.
Yeah. I don't want to deal with customers.
So if you live in Texas...
That's why I work a third shift warehouse job. I don't have to deal with people.
I do check their website from time to time, though, to see if there's any openings here at the Activision location here in Minnesota.
And what website is that you check?
Careers on Blizzard.com.
2 that caught my eye on Twitter is... Now, the tweet said, shh, so don't tell anybody. But shh. Blizzard is seeking an exceptional character artist job in creating a new and exciting experience for mobile.
You hear that?
Just don't tell anybody.
Did you hear that, though? Mobile's ring. That's opportunity calling.
And if you're an environmental artist, they're also looking for somebody for the same project.
Do it.
You know, I do have some exceptional Microsoft Paint skills.
Yes!
I bet you won't.
And smiley faces.
Hey, I dare you.
Yes. Call up Blizzard, be like, hey, I want to work for you. Here's my MS Paint.
Here's my portfolio. This is all done in Paint. Exactly. All right, you're hired. I like your confidence. I don't need this job. Give me my portfolio
back. Taryn Gregory, what the F?
Yeah, I wanted cinematics. It's MS Paint. It's a stick figure. That's all I could draw. Well, and guess what?
What?
It is now the end of the show.
So soon.
So thank you all for coming to Frazzlecast. Giggles, where can we find you across the internet?
You can find me lurking in the dark depths of Eerie Peak, in the dark corners that you don't like to look at. That's where I'm at. Otherwise, you can find me on the tweeters at giggledots_SSS. And then I am also on a podcast called The Summoning Stone. I'm there with two other terrible, wonderful people. And you can follow us. We're still figuring out our schedule right now. What we do, we try to give as little about expansions as possible when it's not out yet. Not a lot of stuff right now, but we're hashing out a new schedule, and that should be coming up here the next couple episodes.
Oh, nice.
Yep, we are going to be on tomorrow, and hopefully we'll figure out a new schedule. But yeah, that is The Summoning Stone, and you can find us on Twitter at Summoning Stone.
And Xortz, where can we find you?
Giggles, I thought I was the only person that called it tweeters. Thank you for that.
It's the tweeters.
Dude, this may be my brother from another mother. I don't know.
We're soulmates.
Frazzlecast, creating friendships since 2017.
Are you looking for love? Join the Frazzlecast.
Just call
where you can find love.
1-440-536-3711.
1-800 love.
99 cents each additional minute. Kids, get your parents' permission before calling. Anywho, you can find me on the tweeters at Xortz the Goblin, XORTZTHEGOBLIN, all lowercase, all one word. And you can also catch me over on twitch.tv/Xortz the Goblin. In fact, I'll be live there in 30 minutes playing some Raft with my good friend / nemesis Turwinkle. I may drown him. Woo. But yeah, that's the best way to find me because I'm on those two places. You can also catch me in the WoW Challenges Discord and the WoW Challenges Twitch chat, where I am one of the mods for some unknown reason. Never got an answer on that. I don't know why they did that, but that's a thing.
You help keep the peace and you answer questions like, can I use a potion?
I actually just sit there shining the banhammer waiting for stupid to happen. So that's my whole purpose.
Wait, is there an FAQ page on wildchallenges.com? I can't find it.
Frazzly, I will freaking come down to freaking Columbus because I'm not that far. I'm within driving distance. Remember that.
Oh, so we can go to the MDI tomorrow. Okay, hey Xortz, come on down.
Wait a minute. Somebody in the chat said shark bait. Shark bait. Ooh ha ha.
Yes.
Nisi's got it right. I'm the ban first, ask later guy. Yeah, that's where you can find me. And from time to time, Frazzly leaves the door open and I come wandering in here.
It's so much fun. I enjoy having you on. And Giggles, you're coming back too.
Oh, am I?
Absolutely.
Well, now I don't wanna.
Okay, well then fine.
Oh, jeez. Take me back. I didn't mean it.
Okay.
Hooray!
But you know what? Baby, don't hurt me no more.
What is love?
And I am Frazzly, and you can find the show at frazzlecast.com. Until next week, be awesome. Welcome to the Frazzle Report, a short news report by me, Frazzly, the Awesome Gnome, to deliver your weekly World of Warcraft news. The Worgen community has been howling this past week. In the recently released novel Before the Storm, Worgen are described as having tails. Yet, I just checked my Worgen Rogue alt, Nidirt, and there is no tail. In BFA, the race of Volpira have tails, as you can see by looking at the models on Wowhead, yet Worgen have no tails. There is no evidence we could find except for the BlizzCon 2017 Q&A, where the devs said that new Worgen models will probably be in 8.1 or 8.2. So instead, we consulted our resident conspiracy theorist, Craig, Al, Ian. I don't know why all three of their names are first names, and we asked Craig why Worgen do not have tails in-game.
The game and the books exist in alternate dimensions, where time and space intersect. We see some stuff from the novel going into the game, and vice versa. Yet things like the tails are in one dimension and not the other. The dimension is constructed by beings who like to make fandoms anguish over details like this. It's aliens! Aliens, I tell you!
Craig went on to talk about aliens for another 45 minutes, and also tried selling us some aluminum foil, which actually is really good for cooking, so I bought 45 rolls. Craig also told me it protects me from the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi rays that are circling my brain. We will keep you updated on where the Worgen's tails are at. This is a very hairy situation that the devs have put themselves into, and we will brush out all the answers. This has been the Frazzle Report. I am Frazzly Sparkspan. You can find the show at frazzlereport.com. Until next week, be awesome.
Hi, my name is Joe Hogan, and I'm a geek. And if you're currently listening to this, there's a good chance you're a geek too. So check out my podcast, Geektitude. Each week, I talk with somebody about their geek aptitude. Sometimes I talk to people in a geeky profession. Sometimes it's someone doing something really cool with their geekiness. Often it's another geeky podcaster. But it's always someone who wants to share their inner geek. So join me each week as we come together to geek out about all the geeky stuff we love. And remember, this week, keep it geek.
Frazzlecast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment. Views expressed by the host and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard games and are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended.
Want more awesomeness every week? Visit weeklyawesome.com. Weekly podcasts to make your week better. Remember to smile and be awesome.